Well, just a guy with a cause and a gyrocopter that crashed. Only the gyrocopter crashed on the grounds of the United States Capitol, and the only reaction since has been a collective shrug. House Oversight Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz says that we'd all be reacting a lot differently if the guy had crashed into the Capitol. So why are we taking security so lightly? It's a very good question, Congressman. You weren't doing that today at your hearing. What did you find out, and where did we screw up?
Well, we had 7 people sitting in front of us, and there are some 32 different law enforcement agencies in the greater Washington, D.C. area. The question is, who's in charge? Who's supposed to see this? And then once they do see it, what are they supposed to do to take it down? Because all systems failed to allow this guy who landed literally on the lawn of the Capitol. And I don't know that we are that much closer to solve this problem 2 weeks after the event.
So what did you learn? I mean, I guess this guy he's facing... 2 felony charges?
No, it's a misdemeanor.
Oh,
That's
misdemeanor.
The other part of it.
I'm sorry. But
Congress has got to change that.
So what's going to happen to him? Nothing, right?
No, he's got an ankle bracelet and he hangs out at home, and he might be in tough water with his employer, but essentially nothing happened with him. Not much happens to people who jump the fence at the White House either. So those laws have to change, but those things should never happen. We have a 30-mile radius outside the Capitol, and yet he flew undetected, and that's, we spent billions of dollars.
So,
literally
but what's the
billions
answer, Congressman? If this keeps happening, would you shoot him down? I mean, the argument against doing that at the time, I think, sir, was that average people would be in harm's way, that a lot of people could get hurt. What's the answer?
Well, first of all, you've got to be able to detect it. Now, they've deployed technology down on our southwest border so that the Border Patrol can deal with the gyrocopters and ultralights and the other small aircraft.
Well, he left from Gettysburg,
drones.
right, which isn't that far away. We could have tracked that fairly quickly, right?
Well, what they were saying is he essentially flew under the radar because he was about 100 to 150 feet above the ground, moving slow. And what the FAA and NORAD told us is he essentially looks like a flock of birds or maybe a weather pattern gone awry. But there is other technology out there. They just haven't fully yet deployed it.
Do you think that we're just afraid to pull the trigger, or afraid of the ramifications, or whether it's someone who jumps the White House fence or lands one of these devices on the White House lawn, that all of a sudden we're holding back for fear of creating a mess?
Well, I do think the men and women who serve on these front lines, who've got to make these split-second decisions, they need to know that we got their back. But I think they've been so hesitant to pull the trigger. I mean, look at the guy. He hops a fence. He's had foot problems. He's wearing Crocs. He wasn't exactly Carl Lewis sprinting across the White House lawn, and he makes it into the White House. And yet you see an officer with his gun pointed at him, and he just runs right by him. That can't happen at the White House. There needs to be a no-fail mission, and they need to know that we're going to use excessive force if necessary to make sure that they never, ever penetrate it, because now you give the terrorists and the real nutty people ideas, and that shine and the gleam that it's inevitable that they'll be taken down, that's gone away. And I worry that it's going to spur more and more of this. But this is the attitude from this administration.
Well, I hope you're wrong, Congressman. Thank you.